Hello everyone, this is Ether Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. So today we have our new Mythic Plumeria out, and so I'm sure people are going to summon for her. But for us, we are going to tackle the Abyssal map today. And so we're running pretty standard stuff. Running Desperation over Vantage just so we don't have to take counters against some of the ranged units we're going to be dealing with. So that will help us out quite a bit. Flashing Blade helps us out way too much, allowing us to spam Dragon Fang everywhere and murder things. And in that vein, we're running Speed Tactic on Legendary Zero just to help out with Flashing Blade and just give some front-loaded boosting for Blade Tome. And Tiki are running Attack Speed Bond, mostly for this attack, but it also helps out with the speed aspect as well. And Ignis for the damage output. And finally, Brave Veronica for new Cleave Scalp Refine. It's kind of oldish at this point, but super solid Refine for the mean team. The first effect, which is basically like drive attack speed, but 3 range. Super solid. Definitely a help, especially in terms of speed, and while attack, you can never do too much damage in Abyssal difficulty, right? The latter effect, debuffing the foes, not as useful because a lot of times she just isn't in range to proc it against the enemies that, say, Nino attacks when she initiates, but it's still useful here and there, and we'll see it come into play during the clear. But we're running Drive Attack for some more clutch attack that we'll see towards the end of the run, especially, or towards the end of the clear. But in the meantime, before we start talking about Plumeria, just going to generally talk about the strategy for this map that I used. Just abusing the fact that a lot of these units just don't have assists. So, well, the AI is super predictable in that way in their movement and whatnot. And the ones that have assists, like this green Fafnir here, we're just going to abuse the fact they have their assist skills. Just keep making them use them and stalling out Plumeria and the enemies in general. So that buys us a crud ton of time, which is basically all we need to clear Abyssal maps, just more time. But now, as we go through things here, Nino, thanks to Flashing Blade against this Guard Sword Knight, we're able to accelerate Dragon Fang. So as we'll see in a second, that will allow Nino to pick up the one-shot against the Lance Flyer because, well, we're going to get hit by Sabotage Speed because no one has that much res on my team. But now, it's just a bunch of AI manipulation stuff, so we'll talk about Plumeria now. So of course, being the first Mythic dancer, lots of people are definitely going to summon for her, because just having a dancer in Astra season consistently is super useful. On top of that, she buffs speed, so anyone who's running like speed-based damage reduction is going to appreciate it. Even slow units like Duo Alphonse will appreciate it. That just means he just gets doubled less naturally if enemies have like a guaranteed follow-up to basically neutralize imbued coma. So then it becomes a speed check, and obviously Duo Alphonse is not super fast. So there's definitely tons of applications besides the fact that she's a dancer, of course. We're gonna attack with Nino here, take out this red mage. And movement order is slightly important here. It's just to get the correct charges on things, but it doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things because it's just AI manipulation. Plumeria's kit, not too shabby. There's Attack Res Push 4, which basically buffs her most important stats besides HP. She's Attack and Res. Her speed and defense are pretty garbage, which is to be expected. But speaking of her attack and res, the biggest thing that people are liking about Plumeria is the fact that even like a +0 neutral Plumeria is going to be picking up some W's against Thrashers, which is big for a lot of people considering like the previous Astromystics. Say we have Naga, who gets demolished 99 out of 100 times by Thrashers, maybe even more often than that. Altina, poorly invested ones just do not have enough HP and res, so she just gets 2-shot by Thrasher if she's not in vantage range. So, and killing intense proc, which is a pretty frequent occurrence. So, yeah, if Altina's in vantage range, of course, then it's way easier for her to handle Thrasher. But Plumeria, even if killing intent is proc, she can actually live a decent chunk of base kit Thrashers or comparable stuff. So that's solid. The main thing you have to be concerned about is her one-shotting on the counter. So, unironically, it's actually kind of useful to have killing intent procced on Thrasher, so she can double you, and then so you can get 2 charges to proc like a 2 cooldown special like Glimmer, and basically guarantee you kill. Because her base attack is definitely solid. I believe it's 40 base attack or something. So for base kit, that's like 61 attack, which is pretty solid. As you can see, we've just been trolling the AIs, making them spam their assists, and Plumeria just dancing non-stop on those guys. But now we're gonna fling Nino all the way to the left here to take out the green flowers, so we can safely bait out the Brave Sword Cav here. And thanks to our bit of speed investment, we also can avoid the quad from this Sword Cav, which is definitely useful. But yeah, there's plenty of things Plumeria does. The buffing / debuffing with Sweet Dreams, the passive debuffing, or passive attack res buffing with her weapon, Flower of Plenty. It's arguably, it's probably a more consistent proc than Flower of Joy on Peony, I would say, most of the time. But Peony, of course, can be all the way across the map and horizontally buff, so that's the one thing Peony has. But now here's where the drive attack and Brave Veronica's Refine comes in super clutch here. Going to have Tiki, she's going to take a feint there from the rally and one-shot this Axe Dragon with Ignis. And because the green Fafnir's aerobatics is going to swing in and miss the kill, and Tiki barely picks up the one-shot here. It's totally not rigged in any way. But because of that, we've just cleared out so many enemies in this turn. The blue mage gonna get nuked by Nino, and pretty straightforward from here, except there's Plumeria left, and the Lance Cav, which we'll deal with super shortly here. But yeah, Plumeria is gonna be solid. I know people are going to definitely enjoy the speed boost. That's definitely huge for a lot of people, besides the fact she's a dancer again. But yeah, personally I'm not going to be summoning for her. I don't really see any reason for me to when my Astro offense strategies are hot garbage. Because I only use one team and the one team is garbage. So yeah, we're going to manipulate the AI here and give ourselves some time because we're kind of stuck on the left column here since there's just the giant, I don't know what this is, a crevice? I don't know what the word is for it, I'm blanking. But we're just buying time for ourselves, and so we can do all sorts of things here, but we're just gonna do this. And at this point, I'm just going to have Tiki attack first, and let Nino finish Plumeria off with Dragon Fang.
I see.
So overall, pretty straightforward clear, nothing too much to say. Also, Sabotage Speed in Plumeria's base kit is super solid on offense. Again, the Speed Wars, especially during Astra season, can be a pain because Cav lines get spammed out a lot in Astra season, from my experience at least. And they'll be running like some form of ARD speed skill, like attack speed or speed res or whatever. And then they'll be running lull speed as well. So it's really hard to compete in speed if you don't have an ultra turbo unit to start with. So that'll be useful. Sabotage speeds will most likely help more than hurt, but it depends on the context. But yeah, overall pretty solid Mythic. Would not complain having one eventually. Definitely would be useful. I guess the only thing with Plumeria is her base kit doesn't have any mobility options, so that might be a slight issue, but at the end of the day, again, she's a dancer and she buffs for speed as an Astra Mythic, so can't complain about that. But anyways, that's the clear. Pretty straightforward. Actually, I was fooling around on Infernal so much that I just learned the reinforcements. So by the time I went to Abyssal, I cleared it in like 5 minutes because basically everything from Infernal carried over. I just needed to get a bit more oomph from Tiki, so I had to give Brave Veronica a drive attack, but that was pretty much it. And of course manipulating the AI at the end. But anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Ether Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye!